In 1961, a pot of lamb stew cost your nan 14p to make. Today, the same dish sits on a gastropub menu in Islington at £16.50, served in a cast-iron pot with the sprig of rosemary nobody asked for, and your nan's version was better. Not because she had better technique, because she had better knowledge. The quiet, practical knowledge of a generation that never wasted a penny, never threw away a bone, and never paid restaurant prices for something she could make blindfolded. Number 7 on this list was eaten by miners in Durham every Friday for 30 years. Number 12 was considered a restorative meal by GPs across the north in the 1950s. And number 1, the dish that tops this countdown, cost under 60p to make today and appears on pub menus at £12.50. These 20 meals were not peasant food. They were the backbone of British domestic life. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now let us count down the 20 meals your nan made for under a shilling that restaurants are charging £12 for today. Number 20. Oxtail stew. In 1958, oxtail was the cut nobody wanted. Butchers sold it for pennies because it was all bone and effort. Your nan knew different. She browned the pieces in dripping, slow cooked them for 3 hours with onion, carrot, turnip, and a bay leaf until the gelatine dissolved into a sauce so thick it sat solid overnight. The meat fell from the bone in dark, rich ribbons. A whole tail cost around 7p. Today, oxtail appears on gastropub menus from Bristol to Edinburgh at £14 a bowl, marketed as a forgotten British classic. Your nan never forgot it. She just couldn't afford to waste anything. Number 19. Bread and dripping. This was not poverty food. This was Tuesday. A thick slice of white bread spread with the cold fat and jelly from the bottom of the roasting tin, sprinkled with salt. The dripping was free, a byproduct of the Sunday joint. The bread cost a halfpenny a slice. Today, beef dripping toast appears on London breakfast menus at £7.50 with sea salt flakes and sourdough that costs more than your nan's entire meal for 5. Number 18. Pan Haggerty, a Geordie dish that never got the credit it deserved. Thinly sliced potatoes and onions layered in a cast iron pan with dripping, cooked low and slow until golden on the bottom, finished under the grill with grated cheese. 1 pan. No oven. Total cost in 1955, around 9p. Today it appears on Newcastle menus as a heritage side dish at £6. Your nan made it as a main course for 4. Number 17. Pea and ham soup. The ham bone was never thrown away. After the joint was eaten, the bone went into a pot with dried split peas, a diced onion, and enough water to cover, simmered for 2 hours. The peas collapsed into a thick, smoky soup that tasted like it had been cooking for a week. In 1960, a ham bone cost 4p, often given away free by the butcher. Split peas were 6p a pound. A pot that fed 4 for 2 days cost less than a shilling. Your nan made this on Monday because that's what you did with the Sunday bone. Number 16. Pork parcels in onion gravy, made from the parts of the pig that no one mentions at dinner parties: offal, belly fat, and liver, seasoned with sage and onion, shaped into rounds and baked until dark and crisp on top. Your nan made a tray of 12 for what the butcher could not sell, perhaps 10p for the batch, served with mash and a dark onion gravy that had been simmering since lunchtime. Today, a handmade version at a Midlands pub costs £11 and comes with a chutney nobody ordered. Number 15. Tripe and onions. This one separates the true northerners from the rest. Dressed tripe simmered in milk with sliced onion until tender, thickened with flour and seasoned simply. Your nan in Lancashire thought nothing of it. It was a Tuesday supper. A pound of dressed tripe cost about 8p in 1955 and fed too easily. Today, the few restaurants that still serve it charge £13 and call it a revival. Your nan called it Tuesday. Number 14. Bubble and squeak. Cold mashed potato and leftover cabbage pressed into a cake and fried in dripping until a dark crackling crust formed on both sides. It cost nothing. The ingredients were already there from Sunday, and it tasted better than the original roast by a considerable distance. London Calf still serve it, but they charge £8.50 and call it a heritage side. Your nan called it Monday. Number 13. Lentil and bacon soup. Red lentils needed no soaking. 1 rasher of bacon fried in the bottom of the pot, a diced onion and carrot added, then a cup of red lentils and a pint of water. Left to simmer 20 minutes until thick and warming. District nurses in Sheffield distributed handwritten copies of this recipe to elderly patients in the 1960s. A portion cost roughly 4p. Today it sits on any self-respecting cafe menu at £6.50 with a bread roll that costs extra. Number 12. Stewed shin of beef. Shin was the cheapest cut at the butcher. Tough, fibrous, and absolutely transformative with time. Browned in dripping, slow cooked for 3 hours with root vegetables, a splash of vinegar, and a bay leaf. The collagen in the connective tissue dissolved into a source of extraordinary richness. A pound of shin cost around nimpence in 1956. Today, beef shin ragu appears on Italian restaurant menus across Britain at £15 and is considered a sophisticated dish. The only sophisticated thing about it is the patience required. Your nan had that in abundance. Number 11. Cheese and potato pie. Sliced potatoes layered into a dish with a thick cheese sauce, topped with more cheese, baked until golden. No pastry, no embellishment. A dish so straightforward, it barely seems like a recipe until you eat it and remember every cold Sunday afternoon you have ever known. In 1963, the ingredients for a pie feeding 4 cost around 10pence. Today, a cheese and potato tart at a country pub costs £12.50 and arrives with something balsamic nobody asked for. Number 10. Herrings in oatmeal. Before salmon became the nation's default fish, herring fed Britain. Your nan rolled fresh herrings in seasoned oatmeal and fried them in a hot pan for 3 minutes aside. The oatmeal crust crisped into something extraordinary. A pair of herrings cost 4pence from the fishmonger in 1955, nutritionally richer than almost anything else available. Today, herring appears occasionally on gastropub menus as a retro curiosity at £10 a plate. Your nan ate it twice a week without a second thought. Number 9. Potato soup. 3 potatoes, 1 onion, a knob of butter, enough water to cover, simmered, mashed roughly, seasoned, and eaten with bread. Total cost in 1960, perhaps 3pence. The leek version was considered an upgrade. Adding cream was reserved for visitors. Today it appears on menus at £7 with toasted seeds on top. The seeds do not improve it. Number 8. Boiled bacon with parsley sauce. A piece of colour bacon simmered low for an hour until tender, served in thick slices with a white sauce made from the cooking liquor and a generous handful of fresh parsley. The sauce was the point. It absorbed the smokiness of the bacon and turned something plain into something complete. Collar bacon cost about 1 shilling a pound in 1957. Today, a plated version at a countryside restaurant costs £13, and the parsley sauce is described as a foam. Number 7. Miner's stotty. In the colliery villages of Durham and Northumberland, Friday supper was often a stotty, a flat, dense bread roll split and filled with peas pudding, cold ham, and a scraping of mustard. The peas pudding was made from split peas simmered until thick, eaten hot or cold for days. Miners took stotties down the pit wrapped in paper. A complete meal cost under 6pence. Today, a gourmet stotty with artisan ham appears at food festivals at £9. The men who kept this country running never paid that. Number 6. Jam roly-poly. Suet pastry spread with jam, rolled tight, wrapped in a cloth, and steamed for 2 hours. Dense, slightly sticky, entirely magnificent. Cost about 5pence and fed a family of 4. Served with bird's custard because birds was reliable and nobody complained. Today appears as a nostalgic dessert at £7. It is always slightly wrong. Not enough jam, too much air. Your nan's version had no air, no restraint, and no apologies. Number 5. Corned beef hash. 1 tin, 1 potato, half an onion, a tablespoon of dripping. The potato boiled until just tender, then fried with the diced corned beef and onion until a crust formed on the bottom. Turned out onto a plate with a fried egg on top. Total cost in 1956, around 7pence. It appeared on tables from Cornwall to Caithness. Working class food in the best possible sense, honest, filling, and absolutely delicious when made properly. Today, it appears on brunch menus at £11 with microgreens. It is not improved by the microgreens. Number 4. Cock a leaky soup. A Scottish dish that spread wherever someone had a chicken past its laying best. The bird went into a large pot with the green tops of leeks, pearl barley, and cold water. Simmered for 2 hours. The barley swelled and thickened the broth, the leeks sweetened it, and the old hen gave everything she had left to offer. Cost in 1958, perhaps 1 shilling all in. It lasted 3 days. Today it appears on Scottish restaurant menus at £9 and is described as a classic of the national cuisine. It was not cuisine. It was Sunday solved.